Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Hall, Walt, and Baca Wines Happy Hour. My name is Jeff Spelly. I'm the general manager for Walt Wines. Excited to be here on a Friday afternoon. This is the marquee show that we do every week where we have someone big come in to talk about something other than wine while we sit there and drink everything about wine. And so thank you so much for joining us today. Got a lot going on this week. There's been, a number of different things in the news. So we just always like to take a pause and say, let's have some fun. Let's talk about wine. And I hope that you can have an opportunity to just take 30 minutes with us today to do the same thing. Here in Napa Valley, as probably you've heard on the news, we've got a lot of different things going on. There's this thing called a pandemic. There's this thing called wildfires. And everything is going as best as possible. We're hosting guests in our tasting room today. We've got a very busy day in our St. Helena, our Oxbow, our Rutherford tasting rooms. Everything's happening outside. It was a wonderful, beautiful, sunny day when I left the winery, and it was a blue sky moment. I can't wait. We're taking fruit from our hillside vineyards right now and bringing them in, Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay. I hope that you will come experience the harvest in Napa Valley, not only at our locations, but at all of our neighbors' locations, because it's a fun and it's really the most energetic time to be in the Sonoma County or the Napa County. I hope you'll come visit us and see us. We also like to usually take a moment to say thank you to all of our first responders, to all the frontline workers, all those people that are keeping us fed, they're keeping us healthy, they're keeping us safe. Special shout out to the CAL FIRE and all of the firefighters that are on the front right now, keeping us as safe as possible. And those containment lines grow. So you guys are the best. Thank you so much. Here's to you and here's to everyone out there. The last thing is we're going to keep these happy hours going through the fall. We hope that you will take an opportunity to shop online. We have a wonderful summer sale that's ending Labor Day, so you should jump on that as soon as possible. Our endless summer sale includes our Ellie's Cabernet Sauvignon that we'll have in the tasting today. So be sure to check out who we're going to be hosting, the wines that we're going to be drinking, get those wines so that you can share with them too. We look forward to hosting you at the winery, or you can just buy those online at Hall, Walt, and BacaWines.com. All right, so today, real fun story for me. I don't know anything about cars, and so I have this unique opportunity for 30 minutes every week to meet people and learn something new. And so we had the great opportunity to touch base with Christy Brimberry. She is the office manager who's really keeping things going and keeping things in line at the Gas Monkey Garage in Dallas, Texas. She stars in Discovery's Fast and Loud, where she serves as the office manager for Gas Monkey Garage. She's a mother. She's a new grandma today. Congratulations. And she's a car show owner, if you can believe that. So she's super, super impressive. And she was wonderful to speak with. I'm wondering if, Christy, are you out there? If you'd like to join us on the show.
Hi.
Hey, congratulations again.
Thank you. I'm super, super excited. It's our first grandbaby. So he's 2 hours old now.
2 hours? Oh my gosh, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it.
Well, I will try to, thank you so much. I will try to keep this as succinct as possible so you can get back to your son and your new grandbaby. That is amazing. Congratulations. Well, I'd love to toast you, if that's okay. We bring on all of our guests and we love to pour them a glass of wine. This is our 2018 Bob's Ranch Pinot Noir, and I think you're in the Dallas Metroplex right now, if I'm right.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm in Marin County, just adjacent to Napa County. I'm going to pass this all the way to you, if that's all right.
Okay.
Ready? Here we go. All right. There it is.
Woo!
All right. Hey, you made it.
I'm just
going to grab it back from the internet and I'll talk a little bit about it while you pour yourself a glass, if that's okay. I told you in pre-show, the more that we can make fun of this, the better the show will be. So this is a Pinot Noir. And so Walt Wines makes Pinot Noir from as far north as Oregon to far south as Santa Barbara. It's called 1,000 miles of Pinot Noir. And this is our very This is our flagship label. So this is the finest expression of Pinot Noir that we think we grow. It's named for Catherine's father. Catherine Walt is the owner of the winery, Catherine Walt Hall. She actually is, she lives in Dallas with her husband, Craig Hall, so not too far from you guys. And what we love about this wine is it really just has a nice, powerful structure. I think the 3 wines we've picked out today are going to be very complementary, but I'll ask you about what you think of those. And in the meantime, congratulations.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
So how's everything going for you guys down there? I know you're on a small hiatus from filming right now.
Well, with the pandemic, obviously everybody went home. Our film crew is out of California, and so when it all kind of fell down, everybody went home, and we're just kind of waiting on it. We're waiting on everything to settle. Dallas became kind of a hot spot, unfortunately. Yeah. And so our numbers are coming down, and hopefully everybody will be able to come back here pretty quick.
Yeah, we're starting to see that a little in California too. Things are starting to work their way out today. We had the governor came out and opened up hair salons, so I'm excited because this thing needs work. I don't have the same lovely hairstyle that you have. You look beautiful. Thank you for joining us.
I think your hair looks great.
It's so neat. My wife's been cutting my hair, and she does a great job, but it's so overdue. So I might just give her a break and actually go in and get one.
Well, I mean, you do what you have to.
Exactly. So tell me real quickly for those. Cheers, and I'm interested in your take on this one in a second. But before, how did the show get started? What were you doing before it, and just a little bit about the Fast and Loud.
So Richard and Aaron had been working together for a little bit. Richard's always been kind of he's always been into cars, and Aaron, all he's ever wanted to do is build. He'll build anything, and so I swear he's the smartest person I've ever met. And so they worked together on a couple of projects, and then they had a little garage, and Richard shopped the show. Like, the two of them together were brilliant. And so Richard tried really hard, and he shopped it to a lot of production companies and different networks. And for about 5 years, he tried to get the show out there, and it just didn't work out at the time. And so it kind of got put on a shelf. And in 2014, no, it was 2012.
Okay.
The production company called him and just said, "Hey, we want to pick up the show. We're going to go to Discovery, and we're going to be there in 8 days."
Okay.
So Richard really, he had, at the time, he and his wife at the time had started a home healthcare company. Like, he was doing other stuff.
Yeah.
So kind of threw everything down, got a shop together, put a crew together, and started building cars again.
Okay.
It kind of happened really fast. And so that first season was kind of wonky, just because it was, they'd never, the time frame was hard. Anybody that builds cars knows that, 3-4 weeks is really hard to get a full restoration in. It's almost impossible. And so the guys would work overnight and not see their kids or wives. Like, it got really crazy there for a bit.
Okay. And so you weren't on the first few episodes. How did you get dragged into this?
So my husband has cut Richard's hair forever. They've had a relationship outside of Gas Monkey for a long time.
Okay.
And so I ended up, being asked if I wanted to be the girl on the show. And I think it was more so because I'm a little bit more thick-skinned. When you work with a bunch of guys in a garage, it's, the conversation.
You got to tell them what's up.
And so they needed somebody who wasn't going to be upset or get offended, or, could kind of hold their own. And I happened to work out.
Well, clearly you're, when you search the show, you're like probably one of the biggest topics that people are always worried about. Did you see what Christy did today? And, how you kind of manage those guys and keep them in line is, I think, pretty impressive.
Well, I mean, that's kind of my job. They call me, they called me the monkey wrangler forever because just it's like herding kittens. You've got to, all these guys were friends for a long time, and they get back there and they cut up and they joke around and forget sometimes that there's really a deadline and they really have to have a car finished. Like, it's not just for TV. Like, we really have to get it done. And so somebody kind of has to be the enforcer. It's like mom and dad, mom's usually the disciplinarian, or dad's the disciplinarian, and whoever is not gets to be the good guy. Well, I get to be the disciplinarian usually.
So so the story of fathers, I'm going to align that to, I'm going to stretch this over to Bob. So Bob Waltz was the head of the family for Catherine, and for Catherine's family. He was a pharmacist by trade, but he was also really interested in grapes. So he bought a house in Mendocino, and that's where Catherine would spend her summers on the vineyard there. So that's why we named this wine Bob's Ranch. So it's not from that area, but we're, as a wrangle, I guess I can draw I'm really stretching from automotive to vineyard viticulture right now. But what was important for us when we were looking for a vineyard that was really going to be our marquee vineyard, we were looking for something that had a lot of dynamic, powerful fruit. And so our Bob's Ranch is really that. And our winemaker's name is Megan and Allison. And so we have women that are wrangling the fruit of this ranch, I guess, to create some parity between the two.
Right.
And so it's out on the Sonoma coast. It's actually not too far from where I'm sitting today. It's very windy, rustic, not a lot around it, a lot of dairy farming. Actually, a great place for you to go find classic cars, because a lot of them are just parked in people's front yards out there, and waiting to be rebuilt. So I'd love to have you guys out anytime. We can go check out maybe some new projects for you and build it right there in the vineyard.
Sounds like.
Have you ever had a chance to come to wine country?
We were in Sonoma a few years ago. So some friends of ours got married, so we were able to go. They got married in a vineyard.
Oh, nice.
And I couldn't for the life of me tell you which one.
It's okay.
But we went, and it's beautiful. But that's the only time we've been able to go.
Okay.
Schedule wise, it just hasn't worked out so far.
You got 6 kids, and you're probably teaching one of them right now in the shelter in place.
This online school thing is not good. Like, I'm the worst teacher in the history of life. I'm
with you.
Terrible. It's terrible.
You.
It's really sad when my 11-year-old is far smarter than I am.
Well, I look at that as a good thing. I'm hoping
it's a bit humbling.
It's definitely humbling for sure.
Yes.
Well, we wanted to ask you some questions because our audience probably doesn't know you very well, or at least maybe they do, but I'd love to know you better. So we have this. We like to ask rapid fire questions for all of our guests. So if you want to take a big sip, I promise they won't be that bad.
Okay.
Perfect glass, by the way. I like that glass. That's what my wife drinks out of. She loves stemless. Okay.
I'm always afraid I'm going to knock them over if they're on a stem.
True. Totally true. All right. So what was the last tool you bought?
I bought a screwdriver and a hammer on Sunday.
Got it. Okay. Simple. What did you have to drink with dinner last night?
I had tequila, soda, and a lime.
Good. That's a great beverage. I like that idea. Añejo, silver?
Silver.
Silver? Okay. Texas is a great place to find tequila.
Yes.
Big question. What's your dream car?
A 68 Ford F100 short bed.
Okay. That's a 68 Ford F-150. So this is an old F-150 pickup truck, not with the long bed.
F100. It's what the F-150 turned. It was previous to the F-150. My granddad had one. We built a couple of them on the show, and I just think they're super cool. They sit low. They look good. It's just kind of my thing. So that would be that's my dream car.
The only two things that I thought were perfect fit between wine and cars. The only thing you talk about in terms of vintage, right? The vintage of the car and the vintage of the wine are the two most important things, right?
Of course.
Yeah. And so was that a one of a kind truck, or is that a truck that they?
No, it was
just like that one.
It's a production. Like there's a million of them. You know, it just happened to be the one that I care about. We built one early, like in the early episodes of the show for Casey the painter. And that was, I fell in love with it. Like going forward, that'll be the one.
For sure. Yeah. Casey seems to be the guy they're always worried about because paint time is always an issue.
He's he was a hot mess, but he likes to joke around and play. And then he left and kind of opened up his own shop. He's got some stuff going on. He's local as well. Okay. And Mike came in, and Mike is a little better time-wise. But you know, the painter guys, they're kind of our comedic relief. They play more than they work. Oh,
all right. So well, it's, as the woman who's got to keep everyone in line, I'll believe that.
It happens. It happens. All right. So I have a couple of questions for you then.
I was going to say, so I know you had some questions for me. I don't know a lot about cars, so I'm ready.
So, well, this one's, I'm going to start easy. What did you have for breakfast?
I had eggs and toast, actually.
Okay, good.
As basic as possible.
Do you know how to change your own tire?
I can take a tire off and I can put a tire on, and I can employ the star that you're supposed to do.
Right. And do you know what tools it takes to change said tire?
It's a wrench.
Close. It's tire iron and a jack.
Can I use that? Is this a?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could if the socket was the right size.
Crescent wrench?
Absolutely no. That's
a no.
That's a no. You're gonna tear
the answer. I have changed a tire in the parking lot at the winery, but other than that, no, I have no idea. Okay.
Yeah, I got to teach all of my girls how to change their tire because I refuse to have girls that can't change their own tire on the side of the highway. Can't get stuck.
Okay, so I'm doing okay, I think.
I think you're doing fine.
Okay.
I think you're doing good. I mean, if you can change a tire, that's good. So do you know what kind of oil goes in your car?
The oil that's on the oil change, where you put the oil in, it says right there, and you just go into the store and buy that oil.
Okay, so I'm not even gonna lie, I have no idea what goes in mine either. It's got that little sticker up in the window that says, "Hey, change your oil on this date."
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at with you.
Yeah, when I drive into the place and they like do it, it's that kind of oil.
It's that kind of oil. Perfect. See, it wasn't terrible. We're very similar.
Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. I think we're okay.
So I'd like to. When I started with the garage, I still don't know very much. I didn't know zero about cars, and still don't know a whole lot. I know enough to kind of get myself out of trouble sometimes, but that's really about it.
Yeah, I had someone tell me something about it. So I have a 4-wheel drive Chevy Colorado 2016. That's what I drive.
Right.
And the reason that I bought it is because I can do a lot of homework, like, yard work, pick up. Right. I'm good with wood. And so I got the truck because of that. And then I got 4-wheel drive because I love to ski. And so I need to be able to get to the snow. And someone said, blah, 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 differential. I don't even know what that is. Like, what does the differential do?
I have no idea. That would be a question for one of the boys in the garage. I'm just the girl that works in the shop I just manage people and money.
That's if they didn't have anyone doing that, my guess is they would have a great time in the garage without getting paid.
Well, what would happen is they would burn the garage down. Which almost happened a few times, not gonna lie.
All right, so we need to drink more because I want that story. So the next one I have for us is actually it's Zinfandel. Okay. So I'd love to pass that to you all the way. It goes the other way. There we go. All right. Okay.
Look at that.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Oh,
And it came back. It like replicated. It's cloned.
It's weird.
So I'd love to pour you a glass of that.
We are really terrible at passing the bottle. I'm just going to put that out there.
Well, I just keep taking it back from the internet. That's the weird thing. So this is Baca. So I mentioned that. So we have Hall and Walt. Those are both Catherine's, maiden married name. Baca is actually a project by her daughter, Jennifer Brown. She wanted to really dive into and get specific with Zinfandel. So the first wine was Pinot Noir. That's a grape. The second wine is Zinfandel, and this is California's only heritage grape, basically. It's grown in other parts of the world, and it's called different things. But in California, because the Zinfandel grape tends to mutate quickly, this is really a strain of fruit that is really just ours. It's no one else's. And it's grown not too far from where Bob's Ranch is. It's only about 15 minutes, maybe north. And it's from the Maffei Vineyard. So it's a fourth generation farmer named Joanne Maffei. She's a wonderful woman. She probably knows more about engines and tractors than anybody I know, because she's always on it and she's always out there farming. It's a wine that has a interesting. Zinfandel tends to have a lot of big uplift, a lot of concentration, a lot of flavor. It tends to kind of leap out of the glass. It's definitely a Texas wine. It's a wine that has, no, don't mess with me kind of wine. But it's also a chameleon in the fact that where you grow it defines how it tastes. So if you have the two wines, I'd love you to try them and tell me what you think about the two back and forth. And if you don't, that's okay too. Oh, you got it. All right.
Okay, so I'm not going to lie. It's the first time I've ever had a Zinfandel.
Okay.
Like ever. And it's lovely. I think typically we drink Pinot. But I think I might actually like this one better.
Okay. So my question to you then is, what car does a Zinfandel remind you of?
I don't know. Because it's lots of flavor. It's very bold, but kind of I don't know.
For me, the Pinot had a freshness. It was more of a kind of a sports car, I think, is the way. It had a lot of power and get up, but it's probably more of an electric sports car where all four wheels are moving at the same time and it kind of just leaps into gear.
Right.
And for me, this Zinfandel it's bigger. So I think we're talking more in maybe a truck or I'll give it to you. This is a 1970s Ford Bronco. So it's got this really rustic style that my friend had a truck. This is the only reason I know that.
It has its own swag.
What's that?
It has its own swag. It has its own style.
It was a column shifter.
Right.
So it was a car. It was a car that so that was weird to me for the first thing, and the second thing was you had to figure out how to drive it because it was not it didn't tell you right out of the box how you could just get the thing going. And but once you got it going and it got it planed out, it was awesome. And I think that's what Joanne's got here is a very true to the Russian River style of Zinfandel, where you have that rustic flavor, but then as soon as you see the power, you can kind of see it seamlessly cross your palate.
Right.
So I don't know that was that.
So I'm not gonna lie, it's my first one, and I think it doesn't. I'm not mad about it. I think I may actually change from drinking Pinot because I drink Pinot Noir all the time. And I think I found something that I might actually like a little better.
Awesome.
The flavor is fantastic.
That's great. Well, we would love to send you some more. So just let us know. But you can't let any of the garage monkeys try it because I know they just drink Miller Lite all day.
No, they'll just tell me I'm bougie because I drink wine.
I'm okay with that, by the way.
I'm obviously okay with that. I don't drink Miller Lite.
There you go. We'll take tequila, Pinot Noir, and Zinfandel. So we've got some questions from the audience for you. Okay. That's okay.
Sure.
The first question that they want to know is, what's the fastest car you've ever driven?
Probably Richard's Ferrari. And I literally only moved it, but it was far too powerful, scared the crap out of me.
I've been in a car like that, and you just like, I want to take it off. Is this the Ferrari?
No, I did not drive this one. However, that was probably the biggest build that was probably the biggest build that Gas Monkey's done, is the Ferrari F40.
Uh-huh.
We got it as a wrecked car. Typically it's red, and
it's always red.
It's always red. The purists were really pissed off that that's what it looked like when I got it, or when we got it. It had been wrecked by a technician person, and Richard and Dennis bought it and restored it, and it probably is the prettiest, fastest car that the garage has done so far.
That's crazy. I mean, as a guy with a lot of vowels in his name, or redoing a Ferrari is always close to my heart. So that's a cool car. I used to race one of those in a video game.
Yeah, it's super nifty, and it was beautiful in person. It's even prettier, but they're always red. So we had some people that were really, really mad at us.
What's that like when the public comes down on you and you're on a television show and you guys are like, look, this is what we wanted to do. This is what we wanted to build.
It sucks terribly.
Yeah.
Because when Richard and Aaron decide to do something, it's sorry, not sorry.
I don't think there's a lot of question in what they're going to do. They're just going to build it the way they want to build it.
Well, and that's true for Aaron. Aaron builds things that typically, probably mechanically shouldn't work, but he's so smart that he can make just about anything do anything he wants it to. It's pretty crazy. So they're never really sorry for the decisions that they make as far as like the way they rebuild or restore a car.
Yeah. Well, I can appreciate that. It's when you see a car become something new again, especially a vintage. I mean, that's something we can't do with wine, right? Once it's made, it's in the bottle. It's either going to age or it's not going to age. It's cool for me because it's like it's a new way of looking at it, kind of an art piece.
Right.
I don't know if I'd ever have the chutzpah to be able to drive one of those cars, because they would probably scare me that I'd crash it. But
and that's
beautiful.
For me, it's the same. I don't know that I could ever really have a fully restored, just for the fear, like people can't drive. And so if it got hit, if it were to get, if I were to crash it, or I would be devastated. I think there's so much work and time and love and effort that goes into them. It would be devastating, I think.
Yeah. Well, let's just hope that we keep it all on the road, right? So, as we're talking about wine and cars, it's like two different things you don't really talk about a lot.
So the last one, keep wine and cars separate.
It's a good idea. Like, you're at home, I'm at home. It's happy hour. We're in a good spot. So I wanted to taste you on the third wine that we have today. This is actually, so it's a wine that's actually on special for us. For those of you who are tuning in, you can find this in our summer sale. This is our 2016 Ellie's. This is Cabernet Sauvignon, and we were talking about art, so I'm going to use that as the connection. So this is a label that was actually produced by Craig Hall. So that's Catherine's husband, Craig Hall's mother, Ellie, and Eleanor, and she was an artist. She was she was in the Navy right when as soon as women could sign up for the Navy, she signed up. She trained naval captains how to actually see how to navigate by star, because in those days they didn't have GPS. And so it was a wonderful wine for us, because we started thinking about making this wine, and then didn't have a name for it. And we actually found that the characteristics were really kind of so much like her like Ellie. It was lovely. It was artistic. It had a lot of different flavors. It tends to have a textural component that's really nice. So I'd love you to try this wine. This is Cabernet Sauvignon. So we're gonna try to pass this again for the third time.
All right. I think
There
I
it
got
is.
one. Look at that. Third time's a charm.
You're winning this game, the bottle pass game. This doesn't normally go this well. So do you have a lot of experience in passing wine through the internet?
No, I don't. Actually, this is
No?
my first time, and I feel like I'm pretty terrible at it.
No, I think, Christy, I think you're doing great. So cheers.
Cheers.
So this is, do you have all three glasses poured in three different?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask you now what you think about this wine.
This one is there's a lot of flavor to this one. It's a little more overpowering than the other two.
Okay.
I still think that the Zinfandel is my favorite.
Okay.
I don't know. I've not really, my wine palate is very immature.
No, actually, I think you're great. I think the fact that you pointed out three different grapes for starters is huge. Most people, when they come to the tasting room, they don't understand that Pinot Noir, Cabernet, and Zinfandel are three different plants, three different grapes, three different styles of grapes. And so you're doing just fine. I wouldn't. The fact that you know what bougie, and wine, I'm good with all of these things. You're doing a great job.
I'm only bougie because the boys in the garage tell me I'm bougie. So
well, I own the bouge, so I'm good with that. I have to be. It's what I do. It's what we.
I'm gonna call you for some pointers.
You're always welcome to call me.
So this one is fantastic as well. I do think that I like the Zinfandel better.
Okay. That's okay.
This one is it's very bold.
Yes, absolutely. So Cabernet is always going to be a grape that has a lot of structure. The skins are very thick, and that's where textural components big, that over the top you said, right. That it comes from the skins of the grape. So Pinot Noir started as the most delicate. That's why we tasted it first, because you always want to go up in concentration and size and in tannin. And then we went to Zinfandel. Zinfandel, as I mentioned, it will morph into wherever you grow. And so it was a good middle point between the bigger, more expressive, more concentrated Zinfandels from maybe Dry Creek, or we make them from the Paso Robles area, which is kind of the middle of California.
Right.
And then Cabernet, which is always going to have that bigger than life sensation. It's all about, excess. It's excess of tannin. It's excess of cab. It always has this big opulence to it. And then what I like about Ellie's is it has, and as you drink wine, I wouldn't expect, anybody who's just jumping in to get this, but it has this kind of cocoa minerality. It has cocoa, it has this pencil lead minerality, and it has this volcanic soils that really, for me, complement the big amount of fruit and tannin that's in the wine. So those will have to do when you come out here next. So yes. That's what we got to do, is get you here and then take you through.
I just need education as to what I'm tasting. It's like, I know it's there. I just can't put my fingers on what it is or what I taste. I know I like it, but it's, we have another friend that she's like, oh, it has hints of rock fruit or, strawberries. I'm like, what the heck? That is not what I didn't taste that, but where are you tasting that on your tongue? But so I definitely need some education as far as wine is concerned, because I love it. I just don't know what I'm tasting.
Yeah. And the best way to do that is really to come, because that's where we can lay it out for you. So in our tasting rooms, I think for me, the best tastings, and I'm someone who works in this industry, are always educational. It's about, what is the story that got me there? How did you, get to that that Ferrari F40 in a black color? What are the stories that, that make those cars run? For us, it's, what is the story of the vintage? What is the story of the season? And that imparts all of our decisions on how we're going to make wine, really, is what I think is fun. But we do have a couple more questions, so I wanted to ask you a couple more. We also love it if our guests have anything to say. We always want to give them a little bit of a platform. So the question I wanted to ask was, what's your favorite? You have some wonderful art. What's your favorite? And do you have any
She's my favorite.
Okay.
See, I told you I'm terrible at passing this.
No, we're gonna give you the whole screen. There you go. Okay.
So she's my favorite. She's my newest.
Okay.
There's no really fantastic story to her. I never met her. She's a geisha girl that I thought was beautiful. Most of my tattoos are kind of a traditional Japanese. I try to stick to the same theme so that I'm not kind of mismatched. But this time I wanted more of a portrait style. And the guy that did it is wonderful. And
any shouts out to the tattoo artist?
His name is Alonzo Gonzalez, and he's probably the best tattoo artist I've seen so far. Like, he's wonderful.
Awesome. And he's down there in Dallas?
He is. He's in Mansfield. He's at Black Rose Studio.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you. It's always good to, whatever platform we can have to shout it out. So I wanted to thank you for coming on the show today. I know you've got a busy evening catching up with your family.
I do.
I really appreciate you coming on the show. I know you got a lot going on. Was there anything you wanted to say to close?
No, I just wanted to say thank you guys for having me. I don't know a whole lot about wine, kind of like I don't know a whole lot about cars, but I love it all just the same.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be able to come out and visit, and you can educate me a little bit.
I would love it if you guys bring the whole garage. I'd love to teach the boys how to drink some wine.
Can we take it down in like steps, like take a few of them at a time? Because all of them together is a lot.
How about we just start
fired and you'll send us home?
How about we just start with you and your husband? I want to talk about soccer and Pele. That's all right.
I love that. He will talk your ear off.
That's great. Well, we would love to take you through the wine. So everyone, thank you so much. This is Christy Brimberry. She is the office manager for Fast and Loud on Discovery Channel. Check out both seasons that are available. I'm sure you can stream them on demand. And cheers to you guys on your next show, because I know that they're going to come back to production at some point. I look forward to learning more about cars from you guys.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Have a great afternoon. Well, thank you everyone for stopping in with us, for being part of the show, for joining us, and hopefully sharing a glass of wine and really kicking your weekend off. We look forward to coming in next Tuesday. Actually, I will have Captain Lee of Below Deck. One of my selfish favorite things to do is watch Below Deck. So this is a huge moment for me to ask him all kinds of questions about the show. I hope you will come in and check us out. We have our Endless Summer Special that's ending soon. So make sure you take advantage of some of those special prices that we have on discounts at Hall Wines, Walt Wines, and BacaWines.com. Please, everyone, have a great weekend. Stay safe.